Hi, hello. Good afternoon. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was working on something else, and I wasn't sure how I was going to prepare for the stream. So at the last minute, I thought I'd just draw blue poison in this costume. That would look really cool. Hello, LeMay. Welcome to the stream. Elegant lady, thank you very much for the compliment. To be honest, I don't really feel like talking today because I'm very tired, but I don't want to work in complete silence. Let's see. I think the reason why I chose Blue Poison was because, well, she's one of my first 5-star snipers that I really, really like. And she's kind of like a no-brain kind of use. You're tired too? Oh, great. Tired in solidarity. Sorry. What I was saying is that I liked Blue Poison because she's very cute. She's very stylish, and she is a Blue Poison dart. I think one of the inspirations for my costumes from last year's Halloween challenge was based off of Blue Poison. If any of you remember that, I drew my avatar in a Blue Poison Dart Frog costume. And every time I spoke, the tongue would stick out the costume's head. It was pretty fun. In fact, maybe I can dig it up, but I'm afraid will pick up which is it. Oh, that's not. So yeah, this is one of the costumes that I drew for last year's Halloween costume challenge. As you can see, I'm not really much of a bunny, but it was just fun to draw. She has poison debuffs. It's not a well. Technically, she does poison her target, but oops, there you go. She technically does poison her target, but they take damage over time. That's how her poison works. And plus she attacks really fast, so they don't last much longer in the air. She's an anti-air sniper. That's what I like about her. I think I used her recently because I needed someone to take down some flying units, and she was my go-to, like first thing. I think I'm just gonna stick with this avatar for the meantime because it seems suitable. You liking this character already? Yeah. I like... You know, there are very few damage over time characters, now that I think about it. I believe she was one of the first. And then the next major one was Thorns, which was a few years after her. So, yeah, there's not many... Poisonous? Should I say venomous? I guess venomous characters in the game that you can play as. Oh, I should get started. I'm talking too much. This costume's very pretty. This is her second costume. The first costume she had, it was a sports outfit, which is also my aesthetic. That's the one I have both of her costumes, but I really like this one. Mostly because of the Lily aesthetic. Unfortunately, this is a prop. I can't show you the rest of it. You can see the flower design all over her clothes. Face a bit more petite. You know, when I first got this character, I thought she was a human. Well, even though the term human is used in the Arknights world, the only true human in the series is the Doctor themselves. And the reason why I thought that she was a human because you didn't see any frog aspects of her until you saw her neck. That's the only indication. Well, besides her eyes, that's the only indication that she's a frog. Unfortunately, as far as I know, she's the only frog in the game. I'm kind of wondering why. Frog characters are pretty cool. Blue Poison being one of them. Unfortunately, the only one. I guess now that I think about it, Cora is the only turtle in the game. I'm kind of wondering what's up with that. There we go. One second, I have to redo this. No love for amphibians or reptiles? No, it's more like amphibians are not getting much love. There's definitely a lot of reptile representation. There's a lot of crocodiles, there's a lot of snakes, there's lizards. There's not so much for the froggos. And I love frogs a lot. Maybe not as much as I like Kirby, but I do have keychains with frogs, and even my desktop mat is frogs. So I really do like frogs. Mostly because they're cute and round. But yeah, I would like to see another amphibian. I was hoping, like, after all this time is spent, they would add another one. And yet they haven't. So that's what makes Blue Poison extra special, because she's the only frog. Her dress looks like it's inspired by belladonnas. Is that the name of that flower? I kind of wonder. Let me see if I can get a better picture of what she looks like. Well, what this costume looks like. The entire on this. Here we are. I don't know much about flowers, so I'm gonna. Not quite belladonna. Oh, maybe the white. No, not quite. But yeah, these are the flowers that the artist chose to represent her costume. Actually, they are belladonnas, but what's the white one? What are those called? White amaryllis? Maybe? kind of bluish. Or, oh, probably, I don't know. I do like the cute fairy here. That's very cute. One over here as well. But this is what I want to work with. Because normally, if you don't buy any of her costumes, she looks very much like a frog. Well, she looks like a kid in a hoodie. Let's be real here. Another example of what she looks. This is when you recruit her. This is what she looks like. All those years back, she kind of looks like a kid. And the funny thing about this outfit is that the chibi sprite of her, if you were to point her in such a way where you see the back of her pigtails stick out of her hood, and it looks like a frog with its mouth open. So that's like the cute subtle way of it looking like, of her looking like a frog, because the hood would be the actual head of a frog, and there's these this motif here on the hood, and the pigtails would be the quote-unquote tongue. I think that's the cute part about the subtlety of the animal in the costume design. I think after a while, that just kind of, I don't want to say it got lost, but it got peeled back for the fairy frog motif here, which I really do like. It's very beautiful. I don't want to exclude her neck. It has her dotted markings. I'm gonna shrink this a little bit. Oh, and no matter what she looks like, she always seems to have her hair in either these twin lobe pigtails or little braids, so that the tongue of the frog is always visible no matter what. That's something that's been consistent with the artist's intent on her design. You know, the thing about anime characters, or at least characters who are just drawn in that exaggerated anime style, they still follow the rule of thirds, except the top third is often the tallest. And the thing about that is that in real life, real faces can also have that rule. Like, you can see a real person and they have a slightly taller forehead, or a slightly longer nose, or a slightly longer chin. But the one thing that I've noticed consistently with anime characters, especially female anime characters, is that the forehead is often the tallest part to make room for all the hair that's being drawn. I believe male characters have the opposite effect. It's their chin that gets the length. And it's something that I have to keep telling myself that to get that that look to be consistent. That's something that's been lost on me for a long time. Can't get the Actually, when it comes to pointed chin, I don't want it to be a complete point. I want to make it a little bit just so it looks a little bit realistic. Asymmetry found in a lot of real life faces. Yeah, that's true. But when we often draw characters, well, depending on our own intent as artists, we want to have the most symmetry as possible. Because, human beings believe that symmetry is beautiful. This is why we find butterflies to be beautiful. But likewise, we also find moths to be beautiful as well. But when it comes to drawing real life faces, I believe my instructor said you can draw them as is. However, there's some things you want to omit from your work to spare these subjects' feelings. Like, for instance, you don't draw their acne, you don't draw certain scars, mostly because you might fail to capture them correctly. You also don't draw certain hairs if you see them. Like, I know there are certain people who have stray hairs across their face, specifically around their jawline. But of course, it's not a problem when you draw anime characters. But with asymmetry for anime characters, it's usually, well, to impose like assets like scars or moles, or just to make them monstrous. Yep, the hair. Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? Like, drawing hair can be very interesting if you experiment. Let's say you're drawing like a female character, but you can experiment by drawing them with male hairstyles, not just like short haircuts. There are a lot of male hairstyles that are long as well, and you can modify them in such a way that it makes them look a little interesting. Yeah, makes them look far more interesting than you would expect. I did that for a while with my own OCs because I wanted to see how that would work. Of course, when it comes to anime characters, you gotta ignore certain rules. Like, for example, they often have larger eyes than expected. So you have to accommodate for that. Um, Basically, no noses. Just a dot for a nose. I wonder why that is. Noses are not exactly hard to draw, but I kind of wonder why simplify the nose to that degree. Maybe not female characters with male pattern baldness. Maybe that's not a bad idea, yeah. I think you understand what I meant. the eyebrows to be up there. Eyes and mouths are the most expressive. Yeah, true. I mean, that is true, but I feel like the nose is mostly characteristic, and if you're drawing all these characters all the time, you don't want to give them too many distinct features. Because of course, once again, in real life, people have very distinct noses on their own face. Hell, even Nintendo's Mii creator knows that, and they give you a variety of noses you can play with. But even then, those are simplified. However, I couldn't help but notice that even though the nose here is just a simple little dot, you can still follow it. You can still follow the same nose while drawing a real face. I don't know how I want to look yet. Comes to his nose, it's gonna get face. Here's the face. I don't want to call them scales. I want to just call them scales. Things on the line here. I'm gonna add her hair. I typically like to leave facial expression to go on. The reason why I need to draw her in her eyes is because of how her hair falls on her eyes. I need to get better at relationships between basically the hair and the whole face. That's something I've like, even when I draw realistically, I still mess up. Oftentimes I run out of room for the hair. Like, how'd that happen? What did I do wrong? Like, where'd all my space go? I have made myself plenty of space. And then, because I keep doing that, I wind up making the head too big or too wide. And then my instructors see that. Hey, you're making the head a little bit too big. Otherwise, your art turned out very well. Big head people. Just making all these straight shapes. Excuse me, straight edge shapes. I cannot cut. know that hair's looking pretty tall. Think about it. In fact, if you were to use a pencil or a pen and measure from the top of the head to the eyebrow, and then from the eyebrow to the base of the head, how tall they are. Weird. Actually, it's actually much more accurate to do chin, eyebrow, and a little bit. So it goes a little bit above the head. Ooh, oh, excuse me. Oh man. Didn't mean I don't want to follow it exactly. That way. I think I created the quote unquote illusion of head height to her hair. So let's see. Just make this part of her hair work with me. can see it. You know what? I'll add some hair detail. Because I'm doing this thing where I treat all my head portraits like a true sketch, like I would in on my traditional art. By which I mean I'm adding value. So I just want to avoid certain details because they might get lost in my blending. I don't want them to pop out. But I want some of them to pop out, not all of them. Go away. I do find myself mapping certain things just so that I don't forget what part of the hair goes where. For instance, I think this should be in the background. I have to curve it back and then mark it as a background element. By simply giving it a color. You know, as much as I want to follow design closely, I want to like put my own spin on stuff. Hey, it's painter.png. You feel spoilers for me later and now. Welcome to the stream. Okay, I'm not really talking because I'm a little bit sleepy. Really looking forward to the day where we never ever do daylight savings ever. It's exhausting. I think that sort of captures distance. Maybe. I think I'm gonna go with that. Something about drawing her is just doing it for me. Can't quite nail it. Come on. My stuff's not centered. There we go. Yeah. You feel like juice boxes are underrated? I guess? I mean, maybe they are underrated. But what about juice pouches? Are those also underrated or are those overrated? Especially the ones with the konjac jelly. Are those overrated? I think so. The cans are very overrated. Overrated 100%. Okay, I would agree that juice boxes are underrated, but to be fair, they're very small. Not enough juice. I'm glad I stopped drinking those a while ago. Too sweet. Then again, pouches, I think pouches are a bit better. Mostly because, you know, you can squeeze the pouch and get everything out. It's just so satisfying to just squeeze the heck out of that pouch. French blue owl. Yes, I'm wearing the costume from last month because blue poison was my inspiration for this costume. Okay. Sarah, what do you think of your GA mask sketches? I think they're very interesting considering the way that you drew them. You had a sense of symmetry with all of them, and you even made them into a 180-degree formation. Pretty interesting. I'd like to see more of that from you because I'm interested in this whole, I guess, geometric way of thinking art. Are you making fun of my black? Black ribbit. I like frogs, okay? Frogs are fun. Frogs are friends. I wish I can be like Calvin Sims and have a costume or a mood avatar for everything I'm drawing. I know you're not familiar with this guy. He's on Twitch. I believe he streams at night. His name is Calvin Sims on Twitch, and his avatar is just a fish because he loves fishing. But he has different versions of the same fish, and they're all really hilarious looking. And he just changes it whenever someone requests it, or it's basically based on his mood. It's been a while since I watched some of his streams, but I still remember a lot of them. Like he had a mafia fish, he had a pressured fish to draw. What do he call it? He called it an artist slave fish. He had a regular fish that just swam around. He had a really fat fish that carried a smaller fish on its back. It's it's very funny. I should see if he still does what's it called? VOD archives on YouTube. I want to see if he still does that. Probably doesn't. He probably like keeps just the highlights. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen all these streamers. It's because I don't watch Twitch at night anymore. I like to go to bed early. By the way, thanks for joining me today, guys. Even though I have very low energy. I appreciate you guys being here. Mostly because I thought I wouldn't be able to. I don't know. I had to restart my computer. Something wasn't working. My keypad wasn't working, so I had to restart that. And then OBS had to update. I'm like, okay, update so you don't crash anymore. Cool. Hopefully will be the case, but Uh, funny story, some random guy in a server got upsetty spaghetti because he couldn't swear in the server. What? You're not allowed to swear in the server? Okay, but why are you there? Okay, I understand that servers have their own rules, but you have to follow those rules because you're in a community. Come on. You can't be all upsetty spaghetti because you're not allowed to have bad words in your mouth. You forgot to make a map of Walt Disney's Empire in 2077. He found it immature that he couldn't swear. That's not immature. It's just called being civil and polite. That guy's immature. That's ridiculous. It's immature that I can't swear. Like, bruh. Most people don't swear in polite company. Goes to show what type of person he is in real life. Alright? I mean, I swear sometimes too, but I don't want to make it a habit. That's something I've been trying to do, not make it a habit. It's... Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that was strange. I find it... You know, you have to be a lot clever to not swear, because... To not swear and, let's say, be funny. Because I've seen comedians do that. I've seen them just strictly abstain from swearing entirely, and they're still hilarious. Time is cut short. You have to go. See y'all. Bye, Farzan. Bye, bye. Oh, by the way, I'm working on something else. I want to go back to figure drawing for, well, you know, creativity purposes. But I'm keeping it offline in the meantime because I haven't really finalized how I'm going to go about that. So, what I'm trying to do is, go back to the figure drawing, but I feel that it takes a little bit too long on stream. So I'm deciding on whether or not I should stream those or not. I think I can do probably half and half. Stream a little bit and then go back to what I'm previously doing. Org? Org. Org. Gosh, that distracted me. Dang it, Hedge Cat. So anyway, it's not like it's gonna be a surprise what I'm doing with my figure drawing. It's just I want to create a character. It doesn't matter what it is. Create a character, give them a job, and give them a pose or give them a thing to do. So, I'll show you what I was working on before. If I can pull it up. So I named this scholar figure. Here. So I'm in the middle of like sort of cleaning it up, finalizing some shapes, and I'm gonna add some base colors and then work on it. I'm gonna work on it more as I go along, but the entire idea is to do figures like this. So my idea for her was that she had a job, which is she's carrying all these books, and she's surprised by something. I wasn't sure what she was surprised by because I was just drawing by the seat of my pants. So I decided to put fairies around her. I believe I pinned that layer, so I'll just show you that when time comes. And she's wearing a coat that's off her shoulders, this hat. It's just like little things that help, get the creative gears grinding. Not grinding, turning, excuse me. I knew for a fact I wanted her hair to be short. That's all I wanted to know, but everything else I had to get some inspiration in other places. Most of my pose inspirations are from Reddit, r/anime figures. I do like the poses there, but sometimes not the outfits. Mostly because they're, not really safe for work, which is okay. No judgment there. It's just I don't want to draw those clothes when it comes to me creating my own stuff. At least not all the time. So I thought I'd draw my own cute yet sexy character. I know there's a lot of problems, but this is a work in progress. This is something I was doing offline, and I'm going to continue doing that maybe over the course of the week. I want to make this as long as possible because it's a full body, and I want to make it look nice. I think the main objective here is to, one, finish it, and two, give it as much time as I need it to have, so it's not sloppy or messy. Of course, it's not going to be like detailed like other people draw. I know there are other people who like to get their inspiration from objects and they draw a character from that. But I need to think about I need to get into mind mapping, which is essentially you have a topic and you flesh out the topic and then you can draw from there. So was this Scotty or OC dresses as Scotty? The thing is, I called her a scholar, so I just drew my own, I guess, fantasy mage character, and I didn't really flesh out the outfit as much as I should have, which is why this is a work in progress. Initially, I was gonna make her like a maid, but I didn't want to just make her a maid. So I wanted to make her a student. I was thinking about giving her like a witch's hat, but I didn't really want it to be a traditional witch's hat. I guess the idea was like a somewhat modern magic user, but not quite as modern. Yeah. So I'm gonna add more details to that when I get to it, but I think I have to write some notes to myself regarding her design. And this is why I wanted to make it a long form drawing, just so I can flesh out those ideas. Because I was thinking about this for, well, not for a long time, but I just want to get back into figure drawing. Especially when I had that one night where I just drew random figure poses, and that was really fun. But I never fleshed those out because, one, they were just, practice poses. And yeah, most of them were like messy and unfinished, but they were fun, and I wanted to go down that route again. But this time, like, I'm not drawing, like fan character, like fan art. Like, I'm not drawing someone else's OC. I want to draw my own OCs, but I'm not gonna sit here and flush them out. They're just gonna be like random people I'm gonna draw. Random women, random men. It doesn't matter. Just as long as I'm creating something. Well, to be fair, when I was doing those random sketches, one of them was inspired by Edgecat's OC, but the idea is to um, go with Agawa. Ryu Agawa's idea of like drawing. Well, he draws every day, but he draws a woman every day, and it's a completely different woman every day, and that's pretty impressive. It's like it's a modern woman, of course. Like he has his taste, so all his women are thick in some form or fashion. They either have big hips, big breasts, or both. Some of them are fat, some of them are thin, some of them are tall, some of them are short, and yeah, it's just like a different person every day. Granted, I don't want to do that, mostly because one, it would be difficult. I just want to dedicate time to more complex rendering. And that's something he doesn't do because he draws this every day. He spends a lot of time mostly on the design, but not so much on like making it clean or giving it like much more complex shading. It's just bare bones cell shading or airbrushing. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. It's just like it's how he works. But I want to do a more painterly thing. I think that's it for now. Whoop. Cool. Scotty. The thing about that hedge cat is that parts of that character was inspired by Arknights, but I wasn't really going with the whole Abysmal Hunter thing. I got the idea for that. Sorry, let me pull it up again. So I got the idea for this part, her coat, so to say. I got that from Reed the Flame Shadow because I just like the way it hung on her shoulders. But everything else came from I'm sorry, not everything else. This whole dress was just like I was just thinking about a maid, to be honest. Not the top though. That's something that I just thought up of. The shoes was inspired by Vina Victoria or Siege Altar for you Arknights fans. And the hat was just like, whatever, I'll just put on a hat. I just thought up of this hat. Because I was thinking about the I guess the Three Musketeers at the time. I'll close that. I think I might change some stuff, but I still want her to hold those books. I might have to extend this one. So some aspect of this has to change. I know I did a primary sketch and just threw stuff to the wall in hopes that it'll stick. But I don't think that works well in the long run. Gotta be a bit more considerate. Oh, I'm gonna add her flowers. The belladonnas, I believe. That's gonna be the last part I add. I think I'll just block those in, make them my own different color, as well as her hair ornament. So I'm not sure if it will, considering how much room I gave myself. I'm gonna also have to simplify this here because it's in shadow. Whew. Excuse me. I don't want to zoom in too much. Let me just see I just want to do a quick reaction. Okay, so it has been over now. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not, losing time. Because what I felt like I was doing with the Dungeon Meshi crew when I drew them, I thought that I was drawing them so fast that I had nothing else to do. It, supposed to be I think about her expression. I raised her eyebrows, so Blue Poison is a very subdued character in terms of expression. Maybe I could just make her smile. Just like a big smile. I got to think about it. She looked like she came from California. I don't want her looking at the. part where I have to be a bit careful. Because her eyes are very sensitive about that. Trying to consider what the expression of her mouth should be. Because I don't want to straight copy what I'm seeing. Oh, you know what? Maybe this would work. I still want her smiling. Not sure how big the mouth should be. Yeah, I think that. No, I think my dexterity is getting a bit better. Only a little bit. Gotta add in that texture. No, colors. Spots. an add layer. I close or color. Oh yeah. I don't know. Makes more sense. Can I make her eyes bigger? Still within my ratio. Hello, Sighiro. Welcome, welcome. This shadow. I don't want to encroach on this. Okay, so I'm gonna add in the no, her hair is pink, which is akin to blonde. I'm gonna be careful when I do my rendering here. I don't want to like make it muddy. Hold on. Actually, let me I don't think that was a problem Yeah, no, yeah, okay, okay. The louse was fine because all I did was give him shadows. I'm gonna do the same here. Did you pull for Dun Meshi? Yes, I have. I was very lucky. I got everybody in 30 pulls. It was pretty lucky for a limited banner. My last limited banner wasn't almost not as lucky. You too? Nice. Yeah, I can keep saving. Uh, who's the next? Who is the next character? Is it limited or just good? I don't quite remember. What's wrong, Hedgecat? What are you saying damn for? You want Vina, Lapland, and Suzamon, and you're not sure you can pull on them. I understand why people want to pull on Vina because it's her glow up. She finally becomes the leader that she's supposed to be. And plus, she's basically Saber. She's Arknight Saber. Nice look on the pulls. Oh, thank you. But, I don't know. I think I might want to get her too. Mostly because of her, not her traits, her talents. Her talents are very good when it comes to, support. I gotta wipe the glasses. That's what's the most appealing to me. Like how she buffs her allies who surround her. But, you know, like, a lot of people are, like, saying, like, well, she's not as strong as the other arts fighters. Yeah, because she does the different things. She's not quite meta, but she's still good. I think she's better than that new Reaper girl. She's also one of your first 6 stars and carried you for a long time, so you have a soft spot for her. Aww. What was the joke around her? Flip to win? Yeah, that was her thing. Like, here's the thing, I don't have a soft spot for C. Mostly because she wasn't really one of my first. But I did use her a lot in the early game, which was pretty cool because, like, she was basically a really cheap guard. And that's basically how I viewed her. I think that's how most people viewed her. She's strong enough to be a guard, but not quite. So it's pretty surprising when, like, she actually became a guard. What's also funny about her is that her flip is like her S1 for Vina. This is funny. That was just funny. Oh my gosh, it's Jesus Christ. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Oh my god. Flip is S2. No, I'm talking about the Vina Victoria. Vina Victoria's S1 is her flip, which is the S2 from her Vanguard form. I believe that's it. Yeah. I just thought it was funny that they just were like, well, this is the skill that everybody used in her Vanguard form. Let's just make it her S1 when she's an arts fighter. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes the most sense. Oh, wait. Where's Cookie? Yeah, you'll keep flipping. That's a neat trick. I'll just keep flipping. I just find that funny because I mean, granted, she doesn't flip with the hammer anymore. She does it with her sword. It's just it's just funny. Like with these altars, they keep that one skill that was really good with them. With some exceptions, obviously, if the weapon changes, you can't keep certain things. But it just amuses me when they do that. There's also Thorns Altar and Blaze Altar after. I can't save them. Oh no, you're right. You know what? Hold on. Let me check let me check schedule. So we just did the Dungeon Meshi, then Venus up, and then Lapland Altar. These two are on the same banner. Oh man. I think it's gonna be a while until we see Thorns and then Blaze. I'm definitely gonna roll for Thorns. I might have to skip Vina. Just saying. I mean, I will try to pull on her banner, but if I get nothing, I'm just gonna like leave it. You're losing your yellow rock with all these cool skins. I don't know about that. I think there's certain skins that are not worth it. Like Blaze's first skin is definitely worth it. Because I didn't. It's not like I'm not opposed to her being a drummer. It's just that it looks weirdly messy. But she got a second skin. I'm like, that looks a little bit better. I'd rather have that one. But there's certain skins that I'm skipping with the Dungeon Meshi release. I'm not getting Irene's. I'm not getting Bruce Altars. I'm not getting Lazy's. Um, these are not characters that I use anyway, so there's no point in buying them. So I'm just gonna wait for the ones that I really do like later in the line. You're waiting for Virtuosas? Oh, I'm waiting for Virtuosas and Execute Altars because they're my favorite family, so to speak. I really want Execute Altars. It looks so cool. I think he's the second one that gets a look back on his child form. The first one being Passenger. I find that very interesting that they asked the same artist to do the same exact motif. Even though we never got to see, canonically we never got to see like Federico in the past. We only saw it in like in the manga. If you guys like follow the manga. Brush is big. grabbed Irene's and Cruce's costumes because you do use them in IS and you like the theme, sadly. Your Federico list. Oh, no. I mean, I had to get him the moment they announced him, so, because, he's my favorite sniper angel. I know he's not the only male angel, but he's the best one. I'm looking for fine. I want to add in those flowers. Blech. Oh wait, one more thing. I forgot. One more thing. Eyes. Okay. Now we move on to the flowers. He's the coolest, even though his alias is Executor. Like, damn. I mean, it's not very creative. Like, he basically named himself after his job, which is okay. Okay, bro. Good job, I guess. I suppose even his partner is also kind of boring because he named himself Insider. Wait, what? Insider? Really? No, at least either of them are like Spurio? So Spuria? He's the worst. Imagine some random in-universe NPC hearing about an angel and alias executed him, and that's like, oh. I mean, when you think about it, like, he is kind of scary because he takes his job way too seriously. That also makes him even scarier with sarcasm. By the way, if you guys read the manga, which was linked directly in the game, it was about Enforcer with Cecilia. and it was all about finding her dad, but also celebrating a holiday that the Sarkaz who don't live in Kazdel uh, celebrate. And the one thing that they say is that they take something that they find the most terrifying and they dress up as that being for that day. And the thing that most terrifies the Sarkaz are Sancta. That's interesting. So actual, well, enforcer and well, I don't think maybe Cecilia actually does. Yeah, she had to wear horns. She had to wear fake horns, and so did enforcer. But even though there were like two people who knew that they were angels, that they don't care. They know that they don't mean much harm to them. They're just there to celebrate. Or just passing through. That was like, yeah, that was a very bittersweet manga. Mostly because of the context of it. It's a holiday where they like, okay, this is the thing that scares us the most, but it's also like a celebration of their deaths. So Cecilia met a male Sarkaz who she thought was her father, but he wasn't. He did have a Sancto wife, but it's not they're not related in any way. And as they got to know each other, they later realized that oh, this guy is essentially dying. Like he's celebrating his last few days alive because his neighbors are basically like, hey, what do you want to put inside your coffin? And Cecilia's like, wait, what? What do you mean your coffin? Like, oh well, yeah, I'm dying soon, so I just want to make the most of my final days. So I want certain things inside my coffin. And even though this man is not her father, she wanted to spend as much time with him as possible because she reminds him of his child, which he didn't get the chance to spend. He didn't get a chance to spend with because he's been nomadic. And the story basically ends with like heading over his grave and Cecilia leaving something for him. Yeah, it's still an Arknight story. Don't forget that. That's why I'm just saying it's like it's a beautiful story, but it's very bittersweet. And I like the fact that like Enforcer wasn't being a prude about it, wasn't like enforcing the law, just helping these guys celebrate their holiday. He's not imposed. He's not He's not going to impose just because he's like a sanctum, because he's a visitor. He's not going to do that. It's been a while since the latest chapter, so I'm kind of forgot. Arknights is depressing as heck. Yeah, that's why I like the Dungeon Meshi collab, because it's like a palette cleanser. And I described this to to my boyfriend, and I said that the Dungeon Meshi story in Arknights is basically the first few chapters of Dungeon Meshi, but if we put it in Terra. You're actually not missing anything. If you read the entirety of Dungeon Meshi, you would feel that type of nostalgia. Like I can even like link one of the aspects of it from Dungeon Meshi to Terra and back again. You need more? But I'm fine with like Dungeon Meshi like ending. It's okay. Good story should end properly. more machine guns. Honestly, I just want more fantasy manga. More fantasy manga that's not. What attracted me to Dungeon Meshi was the cooking aspect, because I love cooking. Love learning new recipes and stuff like that. So this was definitely right up my alley. It hits two marks for me: being fantasy and cooking. The thing is, like, I didn't expect. Oh gosh, now I can't talk about it because it would be a spoiler. I didn't okay, I'll say it like this. I didn't expect what they had to go through to change Phelan. Because they do eventually rescue her, but they had to change her. If you know, you know. So don't spoil the story. Yes, it is very great story. I think the artist really, the artist and the writer really. Although I still feel like the way the quote-unquote final boss was defeated was pretty. It felt like a. Felt like a cheap one. I mean, I think it feels like a cheap one in hindsight, but Laos taking advantage of the final boss's powers did make sense, especially since it's him wanting to know how every monster functions. So it makes sense that he would be able to defeat him the way that he did. It's just one of those things where I feel like, oh well, Laos is like way too smart to figure that out. Or maybe he wasn't. I'm giving the guy way too much credit than I should. Yars put so much care into the world and races. You'll allow it? Okay, you'll allow it. It's okay. I guess I view it the way that I do because I feel that Laos is like one of those guys who would make himself overpowered on purpose because how him being, excuse me, a Tallman. That's the name of his race, a Tallman. How he feels like, oh well, their lifespans are the shortest and they basically have no powers. So giving himself the ultimate power fantasy in his own right did make the most sense. I will allow that. But it really did seem like it was not going to work, which was surprising because it seemed like it was working. I honestly thought that Laos was brainwashed. That's how well it worked. But he was always in control. It was incredible. And that's why he earned his nickname, Laos, the Devourer of Horrible Things. The nickname is so cool. It sounds very Fable-esque. Nine were given to the race of men who, above all, desire power. Yeah, and that's what he felt like. Ugh. That story gave me a lot to consider because of how Marcel viewed all the races. Like, I think she, even though she is an elf, I don't want to mention it because that's a spoiler. She is an elf, but she can't stand the fact that humans have such a short lifespan because of how it affected her in the past. How she made all these new friends, but they're gonna have like a short lifespan. So her desire made sense. her wish that the final boss would grant her. I'm being very careful with my language here because my boyfriend didn't finish the manga. I don't want to spoil it for him. Honestly, I think I want to make a rule for myself. This is like probably a bad rule. It's probably gonna bite me in the butt later, but I think I want to wait until certain stories are finished. That way I know I'm not getting invested in something that will never finish. We don't want to have like a vagabond or a berserk moment. I think most people are sick of that. That's why I read through Dungeon Meshi because it was finished. Yeah. Also, I have no problem with starting a manga straight from the start. Um, the one I was the one I'm getting a little bit tired of is the guy I was interested in is not actually a guy. Like I started reading that, but now I'm regretting reading it because now it's becoming a point where it's all wishy-washy. And I'm just like, okay, now I feel like you're wasting my time at this point. It feels like the artist is just stretching their time. You don't know that one? The guy I was interested in isn't actually a guy. Is about a high school girl who went into a music store to buy a CD. But she likes to listen to American rock and roll music. And the vendor there looked like a teenage boy, and she developed a crush on this person. But it turns out that the guy wasn't actually a guy, it's a girl who is her classmate. Uh, but the thing about that is that the classmate in school is so unassuming, like basically almost a background character. While that girl is at work, she wears piercings. She doesn't hide her tattoo. Uh, she dresses very casually, like street moe, and that's why she got mistaken for a boy by this other girl. Eventually, she learns that her crush is a girl, but she doesn't really care. So she works towards becoming her friend. Fortunately, like I'm in this spot during the story where there's like a relationship standstill where they're not really progressing because the girl's not being honest with her feelings. And that's the trouble with these like teenage romance, especially Japanese teenage romances. They waffle a lot to a point where it's just so annoying. And after a while, I just want to tap out. Yeah, it's the main reason why I don't like reading romance. I don't mind adult romance manga because at least then they're honest. okay, I'm developing a relationship with you, but I'm an adult. I'm not gonna quite dance around it. In fact, I'm watching My Senpai is Annoying, which is about a really petite woman who can be mistaken for a kid. Uh, essentially confessed to her coworker while she was drunk that she liked him, but but she is really developing feelings for him. She just felt a little disheartened when, or yeah, she felt a little dejected when she asked she asked him while she was drunk, uh, "Do you view me? How do you view me?" And he says, "Well, I view you as if you were my daughter." And she asked, "How come you don't view me as a wife?" And he kind of like wrote it off for her as her being drunk and like, "Oh, yes, it's drunk speak." Like, okay, it may be drunk speak, but like, she was being honest. Excuse me. Good morning, Dharma Gaming. Yes, this is my frog costume from last year's Halloween challenge. And the reason why I'm wearing it is because I am drawing Blue Poison, who is also a frog girl. So I'm kind of visually letting you know what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Because she doesn't really look like a frog girl. I'll be honest about that. Excuse me. VP's best froggo. I didn't remember you made that. Oh, it's because I didn't draw it on stream, that's why. I drew it on one of the days where I couldn't be live, so I drew it offline. I think I posted it in my community post section. Is this Logos' song? Hold up. Yes, it is. It's Whistle song. Logo is your son. He is one of the best characters currently, and yet he still didn't quite power creep Aya because she still has that res shred ability. Bumping my microphone. You love the hair you made? Oh, thank you. I really hope yes, it is. So, I'm gonna upload the time-lapse later so that you can get a quick look. I should probably share that on Facebook. Forgetting what I should post. Also, Dharma, I see that you're experimenting with the recording your own drawings, which I like to see. If you need any help with drawing heads, just let me know. Just at me in Discord so I can like help you out. It seems you're getting closer to your mark, but you can get there faster if you just ask. Yeah, oh, that's great. Thanks. Well, yeah, like I like to see, other artists get their start. I know it was like frustrating, especially when it comes to growth. Like, sometimes you wonder how come I'm not getting as fast as I should. A lot of part of developing your art is you feel stupid, and in a sense, kind of are because you don't know what you're doing. So I know a lot of people don't like the feeling of feeling stupid, but sometimes you gotta allow yourself that grace because it's basically you don't know everything, and because you don't know everything, you gotta seek out people who do. You soon find out that your frustration is easy behind. What do you think of this era? I was messing around with it until it looks good. Well, I'm in a rush to get. Are you talking about Serena? Or are you talking about the previous one? I really like. I think what I liked the most was the Raiden one. I like that one. I also like that you're drawing like, original characters, but at the moment, I'd say I think his name is person Andy. I don't know. His jawline to his ear doesn't look quite right. Yet, I guess with Irina, it doesn't really matter because you can hide her ears. Yeah, see, now I'm understanding your process. You drew the circle and then you started drawing his eyes, and then you drew in his hair, and then you started drawing. This reminds me of how I used to draw. I would just be like, okay, I drew the circle, now I'm gonna draw in the face. Uh, which, at first, that's fine, whatever. But, like, it's later on that I found out, hey, eyes are not enough to tell me what I'm doing. It's only one point in my map. So every time, like, I draw, you guys watch me draw in my template, I draw the circle, and I draw in the shape of the jaw and the face. Then I draw a simple template, a simple idealized template on the face. Those are all my points on my map. It's essentially my compass when you think about it. And that helps me draw the face and the head properly every time, every single time. Not that there's anything wrong with how Dharma draws, but it's just like it's not enough. It's the equivalent of uh, well, the way Dharma draws, it's the equivalent of, okay, I want to get to point A to point B, and I'm not going to use any landmarks because I have one landmark and that's enough. Like, that's fine for most people if they're used to that, but how I draw, I'm like, okay, I want to get from point A to point B, but I need several landmarks. And by doing that, I know exactly where I'm going because, okay, now I'm here. Now that I know that I'm here, I know where else to go. I want to find the next landmark and then the next one and then the next one. And that's how I view drawing, well, BP, for example, blue poison. And I think that you should consider that when you do draw your head's Dharma, you should consider doing that as well. Because when you do that, you essentially know where you're going. And you can get there faster. Oh, darn it. It's a long way to go. Yeah, but learning anything takes time. It's all up to you whether you find it worth it. I feel like it's worth it. it's I'm just basing it off of an anecdotal experience here, like an anecdotal story of where I have been drawing my whole life, but my art was only okay. But it wasn't like attention grabbing because I just didn't quite understand how to grab attention. And the reason being was that I didn't know how to. I didn't know much about structure, and that's what led to my stuff being kind of like boring. I don't want to say boring, but that's basically the gist of it. It was boring and stiff, unfortunately. But then I, seek the help of experts, some of which were bad. Then I seeked out more experts. I finally found the one that worked for me because he sounded like he knew what he was doing. Because you have to ask yourself, not ask, you have to tell yourself, if I want your results, I'll take your advice, essentially. But also, you have to keep in mind, not every artist are good teachers. They can explain how they work, but their explanation will never match how they work. Thanks, Sarah. You're just rewatching your previous videos to get yeah. Okay, then. I appreciate that. That's also a good way of learning. And I do that sometimes too. Like, I look at my old stuff and wonder, like, oh crap, how did I do that before? And I realize I should have just recorded that. And that's what my time lapses were for. Help me remember how I did something. Especially since I've been. There's some days where I'm just out of commission or I just don't have time to draw. I just want to, like, leap back into it and be like, oh, okay, I'm up and ready to go. Do more with her face. I want to do a bit more with her face. And then I'll be. Oh, it's 6:30. I'm a little bit over than I thought I would. but that's okay. A bit of lighting for now. See you later, Dharma. Have a good day. Speaking of seeing you later, I'm essentially done here. I wanted to add more, but I think that detail of the flowers really, it really did it for me. Let's see. Oh wait, there is one more thing I want to add before I go. One more thing. One last thing. This empty spot. Okay, now she's done. That being said, thank you for joining me in chat, folks. Thanks for keeping me company as I draw. Have a good night to all of you folks. And until we meet again, take care and stay safe.